Hi, I'm Jerry Katz. Non-duality is isn't necessarily about clarity, not necessarily about a clear teaching. So someone will come up with a teaching, and you'll see in the comments, that's such a clear teaching. It's so clear, um, and that's fine. There's something about a clear. I appreciate a clear teaching. There's something about it that I just don't go there fully. Um, It's almost too surgical. It's almost too clinical. It's almost too clean. It's almost too clear, too obvious. And that's fine for finding some kind of peace in the moment, or for relaxing into, or if you're looking for a practice, and hey, we all need a practice now and then, or even intensively, like right now. Maybe we're really kind of desperate for a practice, and so clarity is good for that. You need a practice. So, but it just doesn't seem. I just want to know, like, where's the paradox? Where's the confusion? I just think that clarity's fine sometimes, but confusion's always present until you until the confused mind is isn't your primary focal point. So confusion's always present. Confusion is basically paradox. So let's look at what non-duality is and check out the paradox and the confusion. So non-duality means there's not two things. But we often talk about there being only one thing. So and that's like confusion right there. There's nothing clear about that. If there aren't two things, then there can't be one thing, because the one implies two. I mean, things have come together to make one thing. And we often talk about becoming one with, and that's not non-duality. That's a soft non-duality. I call it the nice non-duality, but it's not the real non-duality. It's a functional non-duality. We want to become at one with our lives, and in relationships, and in stuff we got to do. We want to achieve a harmony with it, a oneness. That's fine. That's necessary just to live an effective and an optimal life. I'm all for it. I'm totally do it to the best of my ability. But non-duality really isn't about harmony and peace, and or even an optimal life. It's certainly not about clarity. Clarity is for the optimal life. Non-duality isn't for any life at all. It's So let's look at a different definition of non-duality. Non-duality means there are not two things, yet um, I live on the ocean. And by the way, right now I have a place in the city. It's where I am now. I spend a couple days a week here because I work here. This is where I make some of my money. So, and this is a home. So I'm very grateful for it. Despite the fact that I recently did a video saying why I gave up my gratitude practice, I'm still grateful. Again, paradox, lack of clarity, confusion. It's all good. That's where you want to be. And at the same time, you need, within the various systems that allow you to live, you want some oneness, some harmony and peace. But the confusion is really what allows for growth. Peace and harmony don't allow for growth, but they can be a foundation that allows you to be confused and deal with paradox. So the other definition of non-duality then, besides saying there are not two things, is there is everything. Everything happening. And to use a meme or a cliche, everything happening in the now. There's no past or future. Everything is happening now. That's another definition of non-duality. And that speaks for great individuality for all things, especially in our creative lives. That's why we got to avoid memes and trying to repeat what other non-duality teachers say, or so, yeah, you can say non-duality is everything happening all at once, constant movement, constant action, constant change, everything imaginable, everything in all the 17 dimensions, or however many there are, all happening in this instant. It's just another definition of non-duality. So, as as we live our lives, it's fine to have a foundation in some kind of nice or soft non-duality of oneness with all the systems of our lives. By systems of our lives, I just mean this, the stuff we got to do, our mental, physical, emotional health, and our financial well-being, our relationships, and our creative lives, all that stuff. We need some kind of a balance and health so that we can live optimally and effectively. But at the same time, there's nothing but, I don't know if you want to call it confusion or whatever, but everything is happening in all the 17 dimensions in the same instant, and there is no past or future. That's amazingly, I don't know how clear that is. Shouldn't be clear. It's infinitely confusing to the mind that needs to strive to live effectively and optimally. So when a teaching is clear, I don't know if I trust it. It's good for that part. It's good for optimal living. It's not good for realizing non-duality, even though it's supposed to. I mean, they're non-dual teachings. So to realize non-duality, there's nothing. There isn't clarity. It's better to look for confusion. Better to be confused. But when you have that confusion, or when you're dealing with when paradox becomes a little uncomfortable, don't retreat to the clear teachings to try to relieve that. I mean, if you need to, go for it, but let it be temporary and return to the paradox. Return to the confusion. And I think the way it's resolved is by looking at the confusion in nature, looking at nature, how everything is just happening all at once. So when I go to the ocean, I see that. I live at the ocean. And when I'm there, I stare at the ocean about 18 hours a day and fall asleep to the waves crashing and the stars and the moon. And so that's what I see. The ocean's never still. It's always changing, and that's confusing. It's paradoxical because it's always changing, but it's just one thing. I hope that what I've said today is not clear. It shouldn't be clear. But what should be happening is that there's something, because I'm just wandering. I'm not, this isn't planned out. It's not clear to me. It shouldn't be clear to you, but there should be something in here, what I said, that you can, a hook you can hang your hat on and you can run with. And I think that's a good kind of teaching.